Hello, and welcome back to my bed again. It has been over a week since last I saw you guys, so I decided that I was just gonna hop on and give it another go today. So, there's been a couple changes from last time that I saw you. Let's start the week off with Monday, shall we? Oh, and as you can see, I'm kind of wearing a different style today. Not usually a t-shirt wearing type of gal, but I got this t-shirt tonight. Went to a magic show, took myself to a magic show. And I got a t-shirt. They attempted to give it to me, but I did pay for it. So I didn't want them to totally give it to me. They took pity on me, I think, because I went to a magic show alone. But it wasn't so sad as all that, I promise. I thought that I had my... Here. Is that better? Okay, I think that is a little bit better than before. So let's start with Monday. So I got this project, a pretty beefy project from my client end of last week. Started on that, and very big project, still not quite done. And so Monday, I'm right on top of it, you know. I'm on top of my art, I'm on top of my freelance, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm filming my bullet journal for the month. Here, I'll show you guys that, since that's something that's new. I filmed my bullet journal, and where I finished my bullet journal for September. Check it out. The lighting seems kind of weird. I don't know if it's just the computer, which I will explain in a minute, or what, but yeah, it's a little bit different today. This is just kind of a low-key stream today because it's been over a week since I've talked to you guys, so gotta keep up on it, you know. Oops, I'll switch to next week. I was going to show you the other week, but that's got all my stuff on it. And I'll give it. I'm still mid that week. So here's kind of my weekly spread. I made a TikTok for this. It's also on my Instagram. So if you want to look at that, you can. And my health tracker, which I may have already shown you guys. Oh yeah, I definitely already showed you guys that one. But as you can see, I finished September. I wasn't really sure. Okay. Woo. I know that I showed you guys kind of my test paper. So this turned into this. I actually kind of like how it looks on here a bit better, but that's just how it goes, you know. I was stressing about it, and there was just a moment where I was like, you just have to make something, dude. I have this theme of falling leaves like falling stars that I kind of followed through for a few days on my Instagram, where I was musing of this idea of like catching falling stars and putting them in a basket. And I was thinking of other star-like things like leaves, falling leaves. So I followed that through for the whole month. And as you can see, there's like cute stars, you see. I made that like it's like the water, and there's like the tree, and it's like raining stars down. I don't know. I've never seen anybody make one like this. So if nothing else, it is at least unique. And yeah, I just like how it turned out. Anyway, man, this is just okay. It's because I'm gonna have to refigure out my camera situation, because here's the thing, you guys, is Monday. So I'm on top. I think that I'm on top of it. I think I'm on top of everything, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing super good, on top of my art, on top of getting on top of my project, and then I take a little bit of a moment where I'm like, I need to make a TikTok. I one of my goals is just making monthly Bujo bullet journal spreads for the TikTok. So I had thought that I would go do that out on my balcony. So Monday, having a little lunch break / moment, and I say, I'm gonna just take some footage. So I take some footage, and I'm like, you know what? Well, while I'm at it, I'm gonna post bullet journal videos to this channel at some point soonish, and so I say to myself, well, might as well double up. While I'm doing it on my phone, I might as well do it on my computer. So I take my little lappy out there, and I'm like recording it, recording my bullet journal B-roll footage stuff. Recording my B-roll footage stuff. And I notice all of a sudden, well, I bring my computer back in, and I notice that something is amiss, you know? I notice that something is amiss. And I'm immediately like, so I had one of those tablet laptops, a Surface laptops, and I noticed that the screen is a little bit bowed, and I'm wondering if maybe it's because I'm outside. Maybe I wonder. I think, well, maybe the glue on the side of the screen just melted, but it seemed like maybe something in there had expanded. But the computer was still working, like it was still working, like it hadn't malfunctioned or anything. So I was like, okay, well, this is weird, but maybe the glue is just loose. But the screen was bowed, and I was like, well, that's not great. So I try to figure out what the issue is, and I set up a meeting with the Geek Squad at my local Best Buy, just to see if we can get my computer diagnosed and fixed. So, because my boss, of course, you know, is going, or not my boss. We've already had this discussion. He's not my boss. He's not my boss. I do work for him, but differentiating that in my brain, you know, because I am a freelance individual. Anyway, so I set up this appointment with the Geek Squad, and I do a little Googling, and I find out that the little computer that I had, the Surface Go, apparently has an issue where the battery sometimes explodes. So I was like, that's good to know. Foreshadowing, and sort of foreshadowing. That sounds so dramatic. But I go to the Geek Squad, and I bring my thingy, and I'm like, hello, here's this. Can you help me? And very quickly, the guy is able to determine that he's like, I'm pretty sure that the battery has expanded, and that is why the screen is doing that. And I'm like, oh, I read online that there is a battery issue with this particular model. So I guess this was just the moment. I consider that perhaps doing it outside on the balcony in the heat. I don't know if that was just maybe it was the fact that it was out in the heat. I had a million tabs open, had a bunch of programs open, and then at the same time, I'm like, let's record a video. Anyway, computer couldn't take it apparently. So the guy is like, well, my suggestion for you would be never turn that computer on again. I did though, because I needed to get my files off of it. Oh, and the whole time when I went back home, I turned it back on, and I'm like, watching it from a distance, and I'm just like, don't you explode. And I'm like running over, and I'm like grabbing a few files over to my external hard drive, and then I'm like, and I'm just watching from a distance. Anyway, it was very silly, but a few rounds of that, and I got all of the files off of my old computer onto my external hard drive so I could move it over. Anyways, yeah, it was very silly. And so they're like, well, we could send it in and get it fixed, but with this kind of an issue, he's like, I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be worth the price. I suggest you just buy a new computer. And I was just like, ugh, gutted, because I'm like, I love that little computer, man. That little tab lappy got me through the last years of my life, and I started my whole creative entrepreneurship on that thing, and I get very attached, honestly. It's another thing that I have just with like all my old phones and things like that too, because I just get so attached to them, and I never want to get a new phone because I just get so attached to my old phones. And I was doing the same thing where I just loved it, even though I've been saying for ages that I need to upgrade so that I can, have more processing power and do editing and things like that. So honestly, weirdly, in fact, I think I may have even said that the last time, or one of the last times I talked to you guys, where I was saying how I needed to upgrade, and that I would upgrade one of those times. I wasn't planning on doing that now because I was trying to save money because I've got other things going on in my life that I'm trying to save up for, things like, well, just multiple things like trying to move, trying to get a new printer, mostly just trying to save and also pay off some debt as well. So really, those are all of the things that I'm trying to. So I wasn't going to get a laptop because and I'm doing good. I'm really quite good with what I'm doing with my money. So I just figured I would wait on that particular purchase. But I suppose the universe decided to force my hand. That's kind of what I got out of this scenario, because quite frankly, I wouldn't have upgraded if not for that, because that is indeed what I ended up doing. I was going to, I don't know if you guys have seen the Surface laptops. I really like them. But they come in different pieces. So you get like keyboard, and then the little tablet computer, and you can get the pen if you want, and they come in pieces. So I already had all of the pieces, so I thought to myself, maybe I'd just get one, But as I was looking at my options before me, something in my heart said, well, if you're going to get a new computer, might as well take it there, babe. Just upgrade. I mean, because the thing is, if I would have just gotten another one of those Surface Goes, then I would have just probably continued to use that one for the next few years. Because that's just how I am. But I decided to myself that I was like, you know what? My hand has been forced. I'm going to take this as an opportunity to just get what I need. And so after a long discussion with the sales dude, I get the um, I get all the information that I need, and talking to him about specs and stats and things like that, and looking at the prices. It was on Labor Day. And so interestingly, I think it was actually really good timing because I think they were doing a sale or something because yeah, everything was on sale. So I was going to get a different laptop, but it didn't have one that was the power that I needed and more in a price range I preferred. But this guy didn't work with that computer. So then I kind of had to have a moment where I have a bit of an indecisiveness issue. And when I walked into that store, I did not expect I was going to be buying a new computer that day. So I was not exactly prepared. And I had to talk to him for a minute, just getting an idea of what I really needed. And yeah, I just decided that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get what I actually want, what I actually need, because my plan was I was going to get the Surface Pro. I was like, well, when I upgrade, I'm going to get the Surface Pro, and I'm going to get the one with the more RAM and the better processor and all of that. And that one, there was a few things, that one, was a bit more than the others. And also they didn't have the keyboards in stock for some reason. And then when I looked online later, it seemed like everybody didn't have the keyboards for some reason. I don't know if it's the tariff situation going on. That would be my assumption, is the pandemic and the tariffs and everything are probably slowing down that kind of production or something like that. When I asked, I was trying to get more information. He didn't really have a reason why they were out of stock. So I don't know. I talked to somebody else on the phone. How did that happen? I don't know, but they gave me a thought that it could be, oh yeah, that's what it was. Cause I was looking for a Microsoft store to see if they had the keyboards, yeah, I think that's what it was. But it turns out all of the Microsoft stores are closed. So didn't work out so well for them the way that the Apple stores do, I suppose. But oh well. But yeah, he was just saying that manufacturers might just be having a hard time getting the supplies to make the product. I don't know. But so the thing is this choice it went against my usual way that I choose. Where in the past, it's like, because he was really trying to sway me with these other different computers that were like better deals. I also think he was trying to make me buy those because he knew that they were out of stock on the keyboard. I think that's probably the other reason why. And in the past, past me would have been swayed. Past me would have been like, oh, well, I actually think that I want this, but because of these other factors in the price, I'll pick something else. I'll pick not what I actually wanted. But that's something that I've been working on changing. I started that process last year, actually, when I got a car. I haven't had a car for years just because I was trying to save money, and I kind of stressed myself out because the last time I had a car, it was a really bad string of scenarios that it wasn't like I didn't get any sort of accident scenario or anything like that, but it was a bunch of stressful scenarios, one after the other, with cars dying and then being in the snow and getting stuck in the snow. And then that happened to me multiple times. And then my car was dead, and then I was out of money, and I was like, ah! So I just decided not to have a car for a while, since I can just ride the bus and walk and all that. But last year when or I guess it was, oh my gosh. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. It was last year. The years are blurring together, guys. I was choosing cars, and I picked the one that I wanted instead of the one that was easier. And this is another example of that moment where I picked the one that I wanted, the one that had all the specs, the one that could handle the video editing that now I have no excuse not to do, except for that I still need to. That's another reason why the thumbnail is kind of weird on this one too. Is like I got a new computer this week, but I haven't fully set everything up. I just kind of set my bare minimum like work necessities, but I still gotta like re-download my video editor and photo editing and stuff. So you just get like a thumbnail like my other ones from the past, just a photo of me for this moment. And so, same thing with this. It wasn't, it was a little more than the other ones. The keyboard scenario, I mean, I just plugged in. Oh man, I wonder if I can. So what I did, woo! Okay, so what I did is I just had this chunk of a keyboard that I used to work with my desktop over there, that's a whole other story. That don't use it for a reason, but I was just using this chonking keyboard with my little tablet laptop, and it was really funny. Since they didn't have the one that I needed at the store, but it didn't matter because I decided that I was gonna pick the one that I wanted anyway, that had the specs that I needed, and I figured I'd find the missing piece elsewhere. So, of course, this whole computer scenario is unfolding before me. My laptop's battery almost explodes. I'm in the middle of this huge work project, like a huge project, man. A huge project. And of course, that's the one time that my computer decides it's going to have a meltdown. Of course. Well, the one time where I really need it to not be having a meltdown. But as I said before, I do kind of think I wouldn't have upgraded my laptop otherwise. If my other laptop didn't explode, then I would not have upgraded. So I feel like it was kind of just helping push me that direction. So Got a new laptop. Got a Surface Pro. I really like the Surface computers, you guys. I don't know. I know that maybe it's not as prestigious as say like Mac or Apple, but it works great for like if you are an artiste, you like to draw with your pen, I totally suggest it. And I love the kind of I actually like that the keyboard is detachable, and I think it's really nice actually. So as for the keyboard, so I get that chunk of a keyboard. And of course, like my client is messaging me being like, hey, how's the thing coming along? And I'm just like, "Ugh." It would be going along a lot better had my computer not had a meltdown and I didn't have to get a new one and then get all of the files off of my old one. That would have been nice. So I just am like, I'm getting there, I had this scenario, and I just ended up, so I ended up working just Tuesday, just all freaking day long. I stayed up all night. I finally went to bed at 4:30 just to try and like catch up a little bit on the project, because Monday just became me buying a new computer. Oh, another thing that was weird I wanted to mention about that is when I parked at the store, I had this weird thought where I felt like somebody might try to break into my car. So, because I had like a little some earbuds that I was going to return to a different store because they didn't work, and since I am buying a new computer, I figure I might as well try to save some money. So I had those out, and there was this moment where I was like, oh, I'm only going to be in there for a minute. It'll be fine. Of course, the next 30, 40 minutes just picking out a freaking computer that I did not expect to have to do. I really was so optimistic that I was just going to go in there and have a solution, and they'd just be able to fix it for me. uh, I don't know. I think it worked out for the best. But when I came back out to my car, I noticed that my car was all locked up and weird. And the thing is I noticed a girl sitting in her car, and she maybe it wasn't her, but I remember before I left, I double checked to make sure that my car was locked because I just felt I was like, somebody's going to try to break into my car. And then when I came back, sure enough, like my steering wheel was all locked. And I learned recently that means somebody was trying to get into my car. I don't know, man. Sometimes when you feel those feelings, you just gotta make sure. You just gotta listen to it. Cause yeah, if I would have just been like, whatever, man, it's nothing, then yeah, probably wouldn't have worked out so well for me. Anyways, so that was my week. And then, so I stayed all up, and I have just been diligently working. I did find a keyboard. Like I said, they were really hard to find for some reason. I don't know what is going on. My guess is the tariff situation, or maybe, I don't know, maybe supplies are just running low these days. But yeah, so I stayed up all night, and then the next day I did the same thing where I just worked all day. And that's just been my whole week of me just trying to just get on top of this project as quickly as possible, and just being frustrated with how long it's taking me. But I overnighted the keyboard, and I'm so glad that I did, because it was using that chonking thing was just driving me crazy. So totally worth it. I've never, really been in a position where I could do this before. And that was another thing that I was just really grateful for, is every time in the past, it's always been a really big stress for me. When something like this happens, I'm always like really, really stressed out. It's a really big struggle. And I was just very grateful that for the first time in my life, some a scenario like this happened, and I was just able to, without stress, without struggle, I was just able to figure it out. You know, I got what I needed. Yeah, and that was really nice. So it's been a very long week. I'm actually quite tired. I'm so tired because I've just been so stressed about my project and just getting it done. And I had a good cry over my other computer here. Oh. I want to show you the. Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, here it is. I put it in a bag. I always keep my old electronics. I don't know if you guys ever do that, but I've got a whole graveyard of my old phones that I just keep because I can't bring myself to throw them away. And I think of them as like little archives, so that if I wanted to, I could pick up a phone from the past and just flip it open and see what photos and stuff are on there. I don't know. I'm kind of doing the same thing. You see how it's like bowed like that? Yeah. Anyways, apparently that's because of the battery and it could have exploded and that would have been very bad. But that didn't happen. So now I'm just keeping it and adding it to my electronics graveyard. All right. Okay, let's see. I had other things that I want to talk to you about my night tonight. Perhaps I'll just jump to that. Yeah. So tonight, I kind of had a little bit of as I was showing you earlier, I went to a magic show. It was funny. There's this little vegan restaurant down on Main Street that is beast themed, you could say. And I was driving by and I noticed that there was like a shows sign, and one in particular really caught my eye. It sounded like it was a circus show or a magic show or something, and that's my vibe, to be honest. So I couldn't find the show listed anywhere on their website or anything like that. So I ended up calling and just asking because I don't know. I decided to challenge myself and I was like, well, you could just call and ask them. I was like, do I want to do that? And I was like, you know what? Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. So I called and I was just asking about their show scenario. And they're like, oh yeah, it's actually a separate company that does the shows. And they're like, here, do, and they were like, here, here's the Instagram, just look it up. So I looked up the Instagram and I found the show, and indeed it was a magic show, Finnegan's show. And there was this really weird thunderstorm right before bed. There was a really weird, or not right before bed, like right before I left, there was this really bad thunderstorm. So I was like, do I want to go? Do I not want to go? But I'm here to tell you that sometimes when you feel like you should go to something, sometimes it's not for you. I mean, it is for you, but sometimes it's also for other people. That's a lesson that I'm still kind of learning, I think, that sometimes it's for other people. Because I went to this little shop, this little vegan shop, and I was just like, because they said there was like a stage in back and all that. And it was little, I'll give it that. And so I go back there and I'm immediately, you can see there's like a couple parents with a couple kids, and that's pretty much it. And then there's me. I actually tried to invite my friend. I had a friend of mine recently moved back to SLC, and I thought that this show would be quite in his wheelhouse. So I was like, "Hey, I know this is last second, but do you want to go to this show thing to me?" And about 10 minutes before the thing started, I got a text back being like, "Oh, sorry, Sam. Normally I'd be totally down for such a circus sideshow event, but because really that's something that he would like to. But I cannot this evening." And I drove around and around looking for parking, and I almost didn't go. But yeah, but I pushed through and I did it. I found a spot and I did it. And I ordered some food, wait for the show to start, and here, in fact. All right, so here is, I kind of wanted to just show you guys a little bit of the videos. Since I'm a dweeb, I'm just going to do it this way. I'm sorry. No. Okay. Okay, but I've got it on my Instagram story too, if you guys want to look at that. But here's Finnegan's Circus. That one was short. You step in the door, now see what's in store. It's Finnegan's Circus Sideshow! You step in the door. All right, so that's a little bit of that. Hold on, let me get some more. So that's that. And from the beginning, so I guess I wanted to share with you guys that I got up on stage and I was indeed the magician's assistant. So a random person from that family, the dad of that family took this video of me. So the quality is not real great, and this is also posted on my Instagram, but this is me being the magician's assistant. Oh my God, doing sword swallowing. There it goes, down in the esophagus. Oh, and there I am. Oh yeah, I did it. Okay, so while that was happening, the guy was talking to the audience, and I was a little nervous about it, to be honest. And they had this whole dialogue with me. He had this dialogue with me, and I really had a lot of fun. It was nice because I got to go up, and they led me up there, and I got to be a part of the show, which I do enjoy. To be honest, I do enjoy to be a part of the show. Let's do a couple more of the acts for you guys, just so you can see. It was kind of a comedy show / magic show. In this particular the drama of the music.
Magically waving my magical fingers around the magical mystical liquid lunch bag I got like Indiana Jones from here. Magically, the bottle of Heineken transforms itself into a bottle of Amazing, no?
Amazing. So basically for that sketch, he did like, he had this bag and then he pretended like he was switching a Heineken into a Miller Lite bottle and then back to a Heineken. But of course he was doing it all stumbling like, oops, I messed up. Oops, you know, it was pretty funny. And there were a couple other like comedy bits. The one that was really funny, maybe I'll show you guys a bit of that if I can find it. Actually, I'll just tell you about that one where they made this big build up of how they were like the chicken eating man. They're like, oh man, you guys, you know, circuses, we got to have the freaks. So we've got the chicken eating man. Please, no flash photography, blah, 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 blah. We don't want to disturb him, you know? And so he goes on about this chicken eating man. And am I saying that right? Chicken eating man. Man eating chicken. Oh no, sorry, I switched it. Man eating chicken. This man eating chicken, you know. A man eating chicken. No flash photography. But anyways, I did take a little video, but basically they build it up and then this guy comes out with this big old chicken and he just stands there and eats it. And they're like, see, it's the man eating chicken, which I personally thought was funny. I don't think that the family was as impressed with the show as I was, but I was just really enjoying it personally. I like that kind of humor though, so it worked for me. Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to say interjection. I actually don't have a problem calling people. Honestly, I used to work for call centers and stuff like that. So calling them wasn't really a problem. I just, you know, sometimes you like to not call people. Just an interjection from before as well. Had that thought. But yeah, so it was kind of a comedy show. And then there was like classic nail guy on a bed of nails. So yeah, that was another one that they did. They did a few other ones, and what else did they do? Oh yes, there was one where a guy, he ate glass. He ate a light bulb. That was another one. Washed it down with a window cleaner, glass cleaner. Was the joke. I'm sure it wasn't actually glass cleaner. I mean, he probably was chewing glass, though, at least a little bit. I think that's kind of a skill you can learn. There was also stepping on glass. Somebody was stepping on his face into glass. Really, it was about an hour long. It wasn't too long of a show. And like I said, oh yeah, that was my food. That was the beginning of the.
Surely there's something on that table, delicious, nutritious, and entertaining you can eat.
And something entertaining you can eat. That was the intro to the. Yeah, that was the intro to the glass eating. And so I went to the show alone, but honestly, that's not too strange for me, and it really doesn't make me sad because, well, honestly, I actually like going to stuff alone because then when you're done, you can just leave and it's never a thing, and you can just do what you want. So that's one reason why I don't mind going to things alone. I think it's more awkward for other people sometimes than it is for me when I go to things alone because I think other people feel bad, you know? They're like, "Oh, what's this lonely girl?" And I think that's what happened with these guys is I think they were expecting that at some point somebody else was going to come join me at the table during the show, but they never did because at the end they gave me a T-shirt. They did tell me that they were going to give me something uh, for pulling the sword from the mouth. But I ended up, so they gave me this T-shirt, and they also gave me some other swag, or rather, I purchased it. Hold on. All right. So they got me this T-shirt, which says, "Oh, I can't really." It says Dr. Rascal Chicken Reverend. I am not really sure what that is, but I think it just refers to the chicken, man-eating chicken, I think. I'm not sure. But I got this pin. I was like, oh, well, the thing is because nobody was at the show and I felt kind of sad and they brought their whole table out and they gave me this shirt and like he gave me this shirt and I was like, oh no, well, I was like, are you sure? you know, are you sure? So I decided that I was going to purchase something else from them. Just, I don't know, support local artists, or I guess they were traveling artists rather. There's this cute pin that I'm excited about. They got a little mustache. You know, if I had planned better, I could have gone with a whole group of people or something, but I don't know if other people like magic shows, first of all. I don't know. I like magic shows. That's why I specifically wanted to go to that one. This is also a magnet. So I'm excited to put that on my fridge. I really am because I wanted another magnet because I've always sticking stuff on my fridge. They gave me this cute little keychain. It's got a strong man on it. And this cute sticker that's got like these caricaturized drawings of those guys. I can't remember their names. The only one's name I remember is Finnegan, who's the guy with the swirly mustache. And that's just because his name is the name of the show. But back to my point that I kind of wanted to circle around. I don't know how successful this video was at doing that. But that sometimes you need to do stuff for other people more for yourself. Because the fact of the matter is, if I didn't go to that show, really nobody would have gone to it. And like I said, the family was there, but they left like halfway through because I guess they were like not impressed. And I thought that was really rude. I was like, you guys, you can't, the show was only an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes long. You couldn't just wait it out. But kids though, kids. Maybe the kids just needed to go. But yes, afterwards, I was very, very glad that I went. Because the thing is, I think that they, oh, yeah. There was this moment at the very end too, where I was like smiling at everybody and I was really happy. And oh, here we got a photo. And I noticed they were acting kind of weird. And the reason why they were acting weird, I realized when I got home, it's because I had stuff in my teeth. I had like food gunk like caught in between my teeth, and I was like, oh. And this was reminding me when I was looking for apartments a few weeks ago, I had a similar scenario happen where I was having a really nice conversation with this dude who was like, oh, yeah, if you move here, then blah, 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 blah. Then maybe we'll be neighbors. And I was like, cool, dude. And I was just smiling. And I noticed that he just started giving me a weird look at one point. And I was like, man, what's with that guy? You know, why did he start acting all weird? And then I caught my toothy grin in the mirror of my car, and there was like a big old leafy green in my tooth, and I was like, oh. So anyway, reminiscent moment today. I'm hilarious, you guys. I need to just start bringing gum or something around with me, since I apparently get food in my teeth when I eat out. Because, yeah, I noticed that I was like smiling and I was like, oh, thanks so much, guys. And I noticed they were acting weird when they were acting really, really nice earlier. And I'm pretty sure it was combination of they probably felt bad that I just went to a magic show by myself, but I liked it. So I wasn't complaining. And also, they probably felt awkward because I had gunk in my teeth. But we took this really cute photo. Show that to you guys. You can't see the gunk in my teeth because oh my gosh, how can I make you guys see that? Maybe I'll just have to post it to Instagram, but oh my gosh. You can't see the gunk in my teeth. I'm going to have to figure out a better way to do this. This is why I should edit videos, but I'm just shooting the shit with you guys right now, you know? But yeah, I'll post this. It's on my Instagram story, and here we go. You can kind of see it better. But there's me and the dudes. There's going to be a better way to do this. Yeah, there we are. You can't see the stuff in my tooth because well, you can a little bit, but you can't tell because of the lighting and it's far enough away and whatever. But yeah, it was cute. And so, yeah. Really, I just wanted to talk to you guys about my week and tell you that sometimes when you have this weird urge, because that's the thing, is I finished up a little bit of a project and I was like, dude, I'm freaking tired. I need to do something nice, something fun. And immediately it popped into my brain that I was like, wait, is that magic show thing tonight? And then I called to find out. And then I called to find out. And it was. I thought it was tomorrow, but it was tonight. And I had all of the reasons not to go. You know, a weird, huge thunderstorm happened right before. My friend that I wanted to go with didn't even text me back until I was already like there. But I did it anyway because I just felt like I should go. And God, well, I did end up giving them like $25 because that was the cash that I had. And I was like, I wanted to support the artists. Okay. They tried to give me this shirt, but I just wanted to support them. And yeah. And I'm glad that I went, because if I wouldn't have went, then the only people in the audience would have been a family that left halfway through, and that would have felt crappy. So I'm really glad that I went, you know? I don't know. Weird moral to the story, I guess, but I feel like this applies in lots of other scenarios too, where sometimes you're pulled to do something to help someone else, you know? Yeah. I had a really nice time tonight. Yeah. I'm sure I could have, I could have turned it into a social outing if I really tried. But when you decide to go to a show 1 hour before it starts, sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. There's a curiosities and oddities expo this weekend, which is why those guys were here, I'm pretty sure. So if I wanted to see them again, I could go to the expo, I guess. I was kind of thinking of going to that anyway. If I go to the expo, I'll let you guys know about that. Yeah. Anyways, this ended up not being as coherent of a live stream as I would have preferred, but kind of rambled a little bit. Sharing those acts with you guys didn't exactly go as planned. A lot of things just didn't go as planned this week, you guys. A lot of things just didn't go as planned. But in the end, I think it went exactly the way it needed to, you know? I got a computer that I never would have purchased otherwise, you know? I went to a show. I haven't really been being very social or doing events and things, the things that I used to love. So, and I did a lot of freaking work, you guys. I did so much work this week. And I will be working all weekend to finish, well, not even to just finish the first, well, like the first two chunks of that particular project. And then, yeah. My life is really good though, you know? Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know what else to say to you guys. So I think I'll just wrap this up here in a sec. Just making some more content. Allow me to look around the room. And see if something I can end with. Here, I'll read this diary entry to you to end about my computer situation. Feeling a bit stressed and sad today. It's been a rough few days. My computer battery expanded to a dangerous degree, so I had to put it away permanently for safety. I got a new computer yesterday unexpectedly, an upgrade I'd been needing and asking for. An upgrade I never would have leapt to had my old device kept on. I truly loved that thing. I can have a hard time moving on sometimes, even when there's a better option. I continue to hang on. So deep is the love and appreciation. I make the most of all I have, always. That I do. I really know how to make the most out of what I have. It's a special skill. The computer I selected wasn't the cheapest or most convenient option. There were other options that were bundled or cheaper that had almost all of the features. I considered letting my true needs slip in favor of getting a deal. The salesman was pushing, and in the past I would have been swayed. But this time, I knew exactly what I needed. A single feature I could not sacrifice. I knew I couldn't settle for less. I couldn't let myself accept the bare minimum again. Convenience and ease be damned. I chose what I actually wanted and needed this time, even with some extra steps required. A message sent, a new pattern formed of choosing exactly what I want. I'm done settling for less than what I'm worth. I hope whatever forces that be see that, applaud it, support it, as I support myself in what I truly want. I must admit, it certainly feels different. And so do I. Bye. And I'll see you guys next time.